So what is happening right now with the project? So if I just want to reassemble this real quick. Current status of motor speed controller project, Rev 0.0001, is that everything's assembled and should be working, and I've debugged the boards and kind of been trying to figure out what's going on here. This I've confirmed to work, does what I told it to. This seems to be doing what I told it to. I'm pretty sure I debugged everything that I really could there. This one, I mean, it's fairly simple, but I don't know. Something funky is happening in the interaction between this board and this board. Not sure. I think something's happening where, well, I was thinking what was happening was, and this was only happening when I had all three boards plugged together. When I removed this board from the system, this wasn't happening. But what was happening was, when I'd have this board on, and this has its own power supply, this would, read the Hall sense, and that was on this power supply too, and it would output, whatever waveform it would need to get to the next step. So you'd have a couple FETs that would be on and off switching, and then one that would be on as the low to receive all the current as the current sink, because it's in a coast configuration, I believe. But yeah, what was happening was whenever I'd plug in power to the actual VBAT to actually power the power supply that would power the outputs, which also powers the isolated power supply on here through a linear regulator for 12 volts. But that power supply powers these, and it powers the outputs here. Something was happening where when I'd plug in the power, it would start drawing a whole bunch. It started getting above half an amp when it shouldn't be able to do anything, when those were unplugged. And I was getting concerned. I wasn't turning up the current anymore because I didn't want to toast anything. But yeah, something funky was happening. I was trying to figure out what was going on with that. Still trying to figure that one out. But I think it's related to doing a little bit more investigation. Turned up the current a little bit, and what happened was one of these gate input resistors, 10 ohms, just fried itself, and that was without this plugged in entirely. All I did was just tap 3 volts off of here and powered the A bridge thing. Just gave it high and low on one of these pins, so that would have turned on I believe, the low gate input for A. And what happened was the resistor just toasted itself. So I'm thinking there's some sort of it shouldn't be able to just short itself because it's going to the gate, and the gate has it's like a capacitor, so it shouldn't be able to short itself continuously. And there is that pull down resistor, but it's a 10K, and that shouldn't be able to draw enough to toast a resistor. That shouldn't be drawing over, I believe those are quarter watt. But yeah, I don't know, spooky. So I've been trying to debug that, but other than that, everything looks like it's working fine. I haven't seen any other issues. There was one where I accidentally misassembled this board. One of the channels, one of the 6 channels was wired wrong. The source was hooked up to the positive, and that was causing issues. But that was an easy fix, and I figured that out quickly. But yeah, it should be working soon here. But I'm having some weird issues, so I don't know. If any of that made sense, well, I'd be surprised. But yeah, so that's the current status of brushless DC motor controller Rev 0.0001. Yeah. Pooh.